Hello, friends. And welcome to a reading vlog. This reading vlog, I will be trying to read for 24 hours and see how many books I can read in 24 hours. I'm going to be completely honest here. I attempted this vlog last week and I totally failed at it because I kept forgetting to hit my timer. If you guys don't know what this is, it's been kind of going around booktube where instead of people just staying up for 24 hours and reading, you hit a timer on your phone and you just read whenever you hit the timer and to see how much you can read or get done. And yeah, I totally failed at that. So cool. Also, I went right off the TBR I talked about, so I'm going to try not to do that. In this vlog, I'm going to try to remember that I'm vlogging and that I need to hit the little timer. I do have off the next two days. Well, I'm off today and then I'm off tomorrow, but I am traveling. We're doing late Thanksgiving stuff. So we'll see how much I get done. I definitely want to knock out some more physical books for Read What You Own. I am at 23 books right now. It's ridiculous. I did the technique of, I know I need to read some of my physical books already or my TBR, but I've been tackling the really small stuff. So as you can see here, I have Goosebumps. This is the Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. I'm going to read this for the Cryptid Readathon because I'm actually DNFing a book. At the moment by Brian G. Barry, the House Squatch or whatever. I'm just gonna give up on that one. I'm 40%. I don't know why I said 50, but yeah, I'm just gonna count this for my cryptid book. And then I have a little novella here called Smolder by Michael R. Goodwin. I bought this forever ago. On Bookstagram from my friend who's the author. And then my last paperback from hell of the year, Evil Intent by Bernard Taylor. I am very, very excited. This one is longer, so it probably will take me the most, but this is where I'm at right now, so we shall see how much reading I get done. And I will also be doing my December setup for my bullet journal. So stay tuned. Let's see if I follow through with this vlog. Okay, so it has been a whole day since I checked in. Yesterday, I ended up going to my parents' house for Thanksgiving, and between traveling and hanging out with them, I definitely didn't get any reading done until last night, until I got home. But where am I at on my counter? So I am 16 and a half hours in to my counter. So it's been 8.5 hours. And what have I read? What have I read? So I did stick with my original plan for the most part. I read The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena, and this was fun. It reminded me of Encino Man a little bit, but like more serious than Encino Man. If you guys don't know, Encino Man is like one of my favorite movies that isn't a horror movie. I absolutely love that movie. It's fantastic. But yeah, it gave me Encino Man vibes, but like more serious. And it ended in a big cliffhanger. So there's probably like a sequel to this one or a couple sequels. But yeah, it was fun. I noticed too as I was reading, it has some water damage, so it has been loved, this Goosebumps edition. And then I ended up reading Evil Intent by Bernard Taylor. This is a Bernard Taylor book. This is my second one. A lot of like family dynamic, family drama stuff happens in this, and there's like kids in this that are so annoying, and I feel like that happened in The Reaping as well. I was like, oh wow, this kid is really annoying. There's numerous annoying kids in this. But you know what? I liked the kills. The kills were very unique and fun. And yeah, where it ended up going, I really liked, but getting there was very boring. I was like, oh my gosh, could we talk about this a little bit faster here? It is 300 pages, but it like, it was dragging for me. So I think I'm leaning towards a 3-star for this one, which I think I gave The Reaping 3 stars as well. I just wish there was like an element to the story that wasn't even really dragged in. There's like this whole opera story about it, it's operatic society or whatever in a small town in Maine. Yeah, this is about a family that moves to a small town. And yeah, this guy has it out for them, I guess is the bluntest way I can put it. And this guy has had it out for other people in his town so he could be like head of the opera society or whatever. And it's like, why do I care? I don't care. The family does do something to this guy that's really messed up. And I'm like, you kind of get on his side for a minute, but I think he takes it a little too far. But yeah, this is the last book I read for my Paperbacks from Hell, and I'm excited I read it. But yeah, it definitely dragged a bit. And then another book I finished that wasn't on my planned TBR for this is the Poe 8 Tales of Terror, this little paperback. And I ended up doing the audio for a couple of these on LibriVox. They had almost all of them except for I think the last one, The Imp of the Perverse, which I found on YouTube, and Vincent Price read it, and I was like, I was loving it because I meant to reread a couple of these from the Mike Flanagan show, and I just like didn't get around to it. So yeah, The Fall of the House of Usher, The Mask of the Red Death, and The Cask of Amontillado. I'm probably butchering that. Those are referenced in the show. So it was fun to revisit those. And then I think it started Smolder, which sounds like Mulder. I am gonna DNF this. I've fallen asleep twice trying to read this, and I'm like halfway through it. It's so tiny too, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I cannot stay awake. Yeah, it's just not holding my attention. I'm pretty sure I know it's gonna go down anyways, so yeah, I'm still gonna count it towards my read what you own, but I won't count it towards like my Goodreads or whatever. I don't need to count anything else for that. And then I started The September House, which is Sav's book club pick, and I'm a co-host for November, and that us talking about it might be out before this vlog. So I will link it down below, but honestly, I'm loving it, and I've heard such mixed things about this book, so I'm glad. I'm really liking it. This is about a woman who moves into a house with her husband, and they notice something is very, very off. It's this beautiful Victorian house in the middle of nowhere, and the walls are bleeding every September. There are ghosts. There's lots of ghosts, and you know what? it's the economy's so bad she's staying, you know. No, that hasn't been brought up, but that is a joke I would definitely make a lot if I had to stay in this house. And yeah, I am loving it. I'm 54% in, and I'm doing the audio from Google Books because I had survey money up. So yeah, I am absolutely loving it so much. I kind of knew I would because of how weird it sounded. It is very reminiscent of The Shining. It's a series book still, but it feels like there's more humor in it, definitely than The Shining. But yeah, that is where I'm at right now. I still have 16 hours to go, and I read 3 books and half of another book. So let's see what else I can read in 16 hours. Okay, so it has been 2 days since I checked in. 24 hours is a long time to just like sit and read, I realize. I still have time left on this stupid timer. I have 36 minutes left, but you know, I'm just gonna let it go because I've read a ton of books. So I did have another DNF. I DNF'd Winter Moon by Dean Koontz. I made it about 75 pages in, and this is a detective story. And yeah, I just was not feeling it. For some reason, I thought it was a werewolf story. Nope, not doing it, but I'm still going to count it towards my Read What You Own. And then I did finish The September House by Carissa Orlando. I think I was 50% in when I talked about this last, and I was really liking it. I'm not going to talk about this one too much here. I'm going to link the live show that I'm on Sav's channel for. It's happening tonight. I'm really excited to talk about it. But the more I think about this book, like the lower the rating is going down for me. I thought it was a great debut, though overall I definitely would read again from this author. But I think reading this book the same month I read Bad Cree and Black Sheep, where those themes are just executed better than in The September House. I did enjoy it though, but I'm not sure about my rating yet, so I will have a solid rating after the live discussion tonight on Sav's channel. So check out the live show in the description box down below. And yeah, we'll see. I feel like I'm getting like kind of angry about it, so we'll see where I end up. And then I read Mr. X by Peter Straub. I know this looks like really long, but the audiobook was actually pretty short, because there's like a half of the good chunk of the end is the next book, I believe, in this series. I don't know. It ended on a really weird part. It ended like, what do you think happened? And I'm like, no, Peter Straub, you tell me what happened. That's why I'm reading this book. I did listen to this one on Scribd, and the audio was so weird too, because it had like 19 hours. Maybe it did read the other half, but it ended and then like nothing was playing, and I listened to it. It was like pretty fast too. I don't know what happened, but I checked to see if that was the end of the story, and it was the end of the story. So it just went by really fast, I guess. So anyways, this is kind of like a Jack the Ripper story meets The Dark Half by Stephen King, and I was like really into it, but it kind of did lose me towards the middle with some stuff that like was introduced. It was like just very bizarre. I was like, okay, kind of lost me. I mean, I get why it did remind me of Alan Moore's From Hell too, which would stick with the Jack the Ripper theme. But yeah, I was just like kind of lost throughout. And then it brought it back around at the end, but also that ending being like, what do you think happened? And I'm like, you tell me what happened, please. So I think I'm leaning towards a 3-star for Mr. X, but I'm glad I read it because it is like a really wild story. I would look up content warnings, or you can DM me if you're interested about a certain content warning in this that I was not expecting, but it, like, I loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, it made me like more hooked. But yeah, it's kind of a mild story, I feel like, but there's like a lot of violence in it, and that's what was shocking to me. So yeah, that was wild. I was not expecting that to go where it went. And then there's Salem and Sins. I know, a fantasy book. I read a fantasy book. I listened to this one on Libby. I think it was like 12 hours long, but I listened to like 3 times speed, so it was like 5 hours or 4.5 hours. This is about a guy named Salem who is honeymooning at the Tower of Babel, and he loses his wife immediately and his luggage, and like it's like a steampunk scenario, like cutthroat stuff. There's like different parts of the tower he's going through. There's like a murder mystery part, or party part, which is fun, and then there's like a heist, an art heist, and then there's like a boat part at the end. It was a lot of going around. What kept me hooked in this is not this main character. He's stupid. He sucked. It was his wife part. Like, his wife was like actually the smart one in this, and was like, I don't know how I got lost or whatever, or what's really going on, but I do know how to do one thing, and I'm going to do it. And I did like that aspect of it. So again, I think I'm like leaning towards the 2.5 or a 3, because there was parts of this where I had to re-listen to it, which is fine. And I expected that with I haven't read a fantasy book in a long time, which I expect. I just had a tough time, like, building this world in my head, this steampunk world. But yeah, overall, it was like very cozy. I've been playing a Switch game. I've been playing Beacon Hill, and it was like nice to listen to this while doing that and doing some diamond painting. So I won't be continuing the series, but it was like a nice little refresher. And then to end to get more books knocked out for Read What You Own. And then I also listened to The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. I watched the movie, the Universal Monster movie, like the OG one, back in October, and it was the first time I watched it. I thought I watched it before, but I did not remember some stuff from it. Okay, this dude is such a jerk. He is such an asshole, and yeah, he's just a dick throughout. He's a dick in the book. He's a dick in the movie. I really, like, did not care for that character at all in both. And like in the book too, I don't know if it happened in the movie, I don't remember, but like he experiments on a cat, and it's just like so fucked up. I'm like, dude, you get everything that comes to you, okay? That's just how I felt. But yeah, this was a quick little listen. It was 5 hours, I think, like on Libby. And I knocked out another physical book. Yay! That's just, as you can tell by this vlog, it's probably like my main objective was to knock out physical books. And lastly, I read Son of Rosemary, and I wish I listened to people about this book. Don't read it. I honestly wish I listened to people telling me not to read it, and because it's horrible. I feel like the beginning is the strongest part of it, okay? So we pick up with Rosemary. It's 27 years later. She's been in a coma. She spent 6 years with Andrew, the son, after Rosemary's baby, and then she ended up in a coma, and she has to like track him down, and then it just gets like really stupid. I thought that was a solid like setup, and then it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. The ending is infuriating. I'm trying to, yeah, this came out in the 90s, which makes sense because it does take place in the 90s, but it's so stupid. And like, without spoiling it, or if I'm going to spoil this, because I honestly don't think anybody should ever read this, this book makes it so the first book never happens. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I'm like, no. Also, there are like a lot of subtle incest parts in this book that, like, so disgusting. Like, Ira Levin, what the fuck were you thinking? It's so bad. So bad. Don't read it. It will ruin Rosemary's Baby for you. It probably, that's dramatic. It didn't ruin Rosemary's Baby for me, but I was still like, this is horrible. Why did this happen? Anyways, I ended up reading, what's the point of this vlog? I ended up reading a ton of books in 24 hours. And I ended up doing a lot of audiobooks, which I thought that would slow me down. I didn't think I would end up reading as much in 24 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. Well, 8 books. September House. 8 books in 24 hours. That is crazy. And I DNF'd some books, and also I wasn't super great at my timer either. I know I watched a bunch of booktube videos and the timer was still going, so it's even less than 24 hours I read all of these, but whatever. It was a good chunk of some physical books, and yeah, what an experience. Seriously, I didn't think that was that much time, and yeah, to see it. If you're having trouble like getting in your reading, I would definitely try this timer method. I don't have a problem, as you can see, getting in my reading, but it is interesting to see like how much time you do read, because this took me a long time actually. It's almost a week or over a week. And I thought I would be reading, I would do it like really fast, and that just didn't happen. So yeah, a lot of reflection happening here at the end. And yeah, let me know if you've read any of these books, and don't read Son of Rosemary. And if you want to leave a comment and you don't know what to comment, you can leave me a snowman, because this will be out on December 1st, and it is the season for Creepmas, for snow and blood and all the good stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!